Okay, point number 14 is the fixed expenses. Now, let's understand this much. Emirates Airlines has around 250 plus aircrafts. Okay. Now, because of this COVID-19 crisis, none of the aircrafts are flying. Now, let's say, for example, you have a car. Now, when you're not using the car, you normally tend to park your car below the building. Okay. It'll remain there and will not be used. Now, you'll not use the car maybe for 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, whatever. And there is no problem. But if you do not use the car beyond a certain period of time, the battery dies out. Okay. That's the thing with the car. So you'll have to take it for service. Now, where aircrafts are considered, it's not like you just park the aircraft and you don't do anything. First and foremost is managing that aircraft, that really big aircraft, keeping it safe. The second part is using that aircraft. Do you know that I've spoken to my friend who is an engineer in Emirates Airlines? What he has told me is, Loy, if an aircraft, if it is flying, let's say it keeps flying and it's keeping on being used, that is lesser maintenance and lesser headache than an aircraft that is just taxied or parked in one place and not being used. Why do you think you'll see sometimes photographs or images on social media where an aircraft is flying with only one single passenger? Because if an aircraft doesn't fly, it doesn't move. Um, uh, you know, it's a very sensitive and very delicate machine. There will be fittings, there will be fluid, there will be parts that have to be used, and if it is not being used, there can be so many dangerous things that can happen which can risk the lives of passengers. And where aircrafts are considered, where any airline is considered, safety is the number one focus that they tend to have. So an aircraft has to be used. So you're talking of 250 aircrafts. For 250 aircrafts, you have 250 aircrafts worth of engineers, 250 aircrafts worth of pilots, and they would have to move. They would have to make sure that these aircrafts are being used, or they would have to make sure that this aircraft is taken onto a hangar, it's serviced, it's taken care of. You can't just leave an aircraft just doing nothing. And all this costs incredible amount of money, a huge amount of money. And this eats into Emirates Airlines, whether savings, bank account, whatever. And this is one big hell of an expense because you're talking of no revenue, but only expenditure. And keep in mind, the more older an aircraft, the more expensive it is to maintain. So what do? You have to get rid of this aircraft. In fact, the biggest question, my friend who's working in Emirates Airlines, he told me is, Loy, the big question is it worth keeping on saving this aircraft if it's not being used? And mind you, Emirates Airlines has big, huge A380s, which is a massive expense by itself. Okay. The other part of the fixed expense is now the salaries. Keep in mind that Emiratis are paid at least 10 times more for the same position than an Asian. That everyone knows. There is a separate HR department for Emiratis in Emirates Airlines. You can check with an HR person who's working there. If they are close to you, they'll open up. Others, they will not. There is a separate HR for Emiratis, which focuses on Emiratization, which focuses on their salary, focuses on their benefits. See, here's another thing. These Emiratis are paid this extraordinary salaries because they are Emiratis, and I totally understand. Okay, you want to pamper them, you want to take care, they're your citizens, fine. But this is giving them a wrong message, and now they are accustomed to this salary. If they are accustomed, are you going to cut it down? They have taken 4, 5 bank loans, they have taken 4, 5 credit cards, they have taken mortgage loans, they have taken everything. So they would want that salary. How are you going to maintain that? And these people, they're not going to resign. They want to work. They enjoy coming late to work. They enjoy going early home. They enjoy hardly working during Ramadan. This has been their life. And I'm saying this not out of hatred. I'm saying this with my friend, my actual friend who has been working there. This is the story everyone knows. So when you have, just think about it. Now, if you have the same amount of work being done by an engineer, 2 engineers, there's nothing extraordinary that an Emirati does, but he gets paid 10 times more. So you're paying 9 people's extra salary For what? For the same amount of work? And this is the added extra expense that Emirates would have to not only bear, but it have to justify. And this is, it's really bad for Emirates Airlines, to tell you very honest. It's bad for any business for that matter. It's like you have this, favorite people in your team who you're just pampering with extra salary, but they're not giving any productivity. It doesn't justify the cost. So this fixed expense is another area that Emirates Airlines is going to take a very strong beating. Okay.
Are you fed up of life? Earning a pathetic salary, working long hours, having an ungrateful boss, facing office politics, the constant fear of losing your job, and after paying rent, groceries, shopping, and children's expenses, you were left with hardly any savings. Is this the life you dreamed of? Or do you wish to change your life forever? Meet Loy Machedo, the world's #1 personal branding coach. He will help you identify the real you, position and sell yourself by getting the job of your dreams, and make good money anywhere in the world. If you do not believe me, Google his name, Loy Machedo, and you will find 2 million web links online and over 200 recommendations from very happy clients. So the question is, do you want to change your life? If yes, then contact Loy Machedo. www.loymachedo.com. Who is loymachedo.com? Thinkpersonalbranding.com. What are you waiting for? Do it now.